Hopefully people listen.
When it suddenly reappeared, I was on my way to finding out the truth.
All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We have an extremely important video for you. Hopefully people share this out with everybody they know. This is 6 days away from a power change, one of the most controversial power changes ever. Leading up to this moment, of course, there's been giant events, an attempt on our prez, and there's some extremely, extremely strange things happening right now. As somebody who flies a drone, this first story is absolutely insane to me. Chinese drone firm DJI eliminates the automatic no-fly zones 1 week before the power change and the inauguration. DJI, the world's largest civilian drone manufacturer and a Chinese-owned company, has reportedly announced it will replace its geofencing system with an official Federal Aviation Administration data for all flight operations in the U.S. The changes, which took effect on Monday, just come 1 week before, of course, T-Man is going to take office. So, again, if you own a drone, or if you've ever had, flown somebody's drone, a DJI drone in specific, if you go anywhere near an airport, it's one of the most frustrating things if you're also by pretty things or you're by your shot. If you're within like 4 or 3 miles or whatever, however many miles from an airport, you cannot take off. They just wiped that out a week before inaug. This is absolutely super obvious. This is something that I would never, ever see any of these companies do, but especially not DJI. Again, this looks so obvious, like we are about to see some crazy big event, and we're going to get told what it is, what it is. But this is their actions. So this is a direct, is this an FU? Or is this a press, setting up for a huge, huge event? It is absolutely crazy. Now, I'm going to go over the rest. Remember, before we go on, make sure you share this out. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button to all. Make sure to go support us by going over and checking out any of our affiliates. This affiliate will actually protect you against EMP, CME, or a Carrington-level event from the sun, and it will help protect your cars, trucks, motorcycles, generators, and homes against any kind of electrical surge. So go to marfooglenews.com/EMP and make sure to use the code MARF. I'm going to get back into this. Let's bring in my co-host/internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine. So, Adam, does this mean like a bad guy, which before Monday, if they tried to launch a drone in an area that was restricted, like, say, over D.C. or over an area near an airport or anything like that, they couldn't because it would not let them literally fly? Does this mean they can do it now?
So, well, I don't know about over the Capitol. So there's things said in there, and I don't know if anybody has verified this, but at least the airports. So they're saying that it's essentially up to the person operating the drone, which a lot of people have believed that for years. But I mean, people have debated in Reddits for years that are DJI operators or drone operators, and they're like, yeah, but it's never going to happen. It just happened a week before a massive event. Mind you, drones are being used in all of the conflicts now as massive weapons. Even the smaller ones can take individuals out. And of course, China is also in the news the last 6 months for these massive, massive, massive discoveries and huge upgrades in autonomous drone swarms. These drone swarms seemed like sci-fi for many years, and now they are not only a reality, they are being used. The stuff that China is doing right now is so obvious, and it is completely putting all of these things together, and it is now 6 days away. So if there was something to go down, I don't know if there's much time to stop it. There's a U.S. Border Patrol reportedly captures Russian mercenary carrying a drone, 2 passports, and 4K. Now, even if this is an op and they're telling us this, they are putting a very specific narrative out there, and I told you the timing of this is the worst. Dex, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add, like Matt Stoller, I guess it's one of the tweets that they're referencing in here, says that you can now fly your drone not only over airports, but over military bases, prisons, infrastructure, and the White House. That's crazy, guys. This is a big deal when you think about the drones. And now we talk about this, the fact that they're now telling us that they just captured a Russian mercenary carrying a drone with 2 passports and $4,000 coming across the border there in Texas. Roma, Texas.
Rewind,
Yeah.
Dex. Do you remember what we covered about the feds? They helped, or they guided this guy towards the sale of a drone. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can
For
you?
Yeah, they took him down a path of using. They sold him like some sort of inert explosives. He rigged up a drone. They worked with him all the way through undercover to him literally launching and testing the drone to take out infrastructure, and then they arrested him.
And that was power grid, power grid, power grid. Keep that in mind, because when all this stuff goes off, again, one thing to look for. So if we do have a massive event across the country. Hopefully it is what people think, and that it would be something that is, it won't appear to be controlled, but hopefully in a week it will turn on and we won't go through the absolute hell of a year without power. Because they say if they take down our grid, anybody takes down our grid, just 9 transformers out of all of them need to be taken out to take down the entire grid. Again, 9 locations. So 9 locations with, say, 9 different drones. Boom, 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 on the right ones, they could do some serious damage. Now, nobody knows which 9 it is. Even the NERC says, the locations are classified secret, but who knows? Are they really? Does China actually have that info? Does other people have that info? All of the people that have come in over the last few years, which a lot of them really didn't get caught, or when they did get caught, they got re-released for a court date, and then they didn't even do a background check until after they came in. Now they're giving us these stories, and Dex, we definitely have to attach that other story because went back, you got to watch the show. We talk about that. I said, this is something weird. That you have to look at this. I said, watch, when you're going to see more stuff like this. And now, 6 days away from Inog, again, they've captured this Russian mercenary carrying a drone, 2 passports, and $4,000, right? And mind you, I know people are like, oh, they're just making that up. Well, yeah, same with that. Or if you believe that, then you'd probably believe those Fed stories. They walked this guy through maybe to put the narrative out there, whatever it is. But they're still putting it out there. And as well, if you hope that they have control over this, and even 7 days or 3 days, if the entire country goes down, it will be hell on earth. We've seen places like New York have a single night power outage in a major area that was crucial to it. That blackout that was back then, it changed that neighborhood and that area forever. Businesses got looted and broken into that never ever came back. So imagine on a national scale, possibly multinational scale. That is what they have been warning us about. And then something comes in place. Then there's this massive event that puts us all down that we're afraid of. They come in with the solution. They come in with the fix. And then we all beg for it because we're so scared. A Russian mercenary was arrested by U.S. Border Patrol agents earlier this month after he illegally entered. Now, keep in mind, this wasn't through a plane. This wasn't through this is going over the border. And think about the problems we've had over the last 4 years in that area. A criminal complaint acquired by the station shows that Parliv was questioned about his citizenship during the encounter and stated he was a citizen of Kazakhstan. Of course, another court document shows Parliv appeared in court last Tuesday, and counsel entered a guilty plea of knowingly and unlawfully entering the U.S. at a place other than designed by immigration officers. And then check this one out. Humvees and other equipment stolen from the Army Reserve Center amid California wildfires. So it just so happens, while all of these fires are happening, Humvees are starting to go and disappear. If you take back a couple weeks, you go to the Sarah Adams interview on Sean Ryan, and you can also connect that. Almost everything that is coming out from a certain kind of web, right? And again, now all of a sudden Humvees are disappearing. Dex, this is super, super freaky, and it's freaky everywhere.
They got a lot. They got a lot. It wasn't, they got 3 Humvees. I think they've actually retrieved 2 of them. One's still missing. They also were trying to get into the uniform storage facility. They weren't successful at breaking into that. They took freestanding machine tripods, medical equipment, binoculars, bayonets, as well as, but they did say no other additional weapons were missing. So the 3 Humvees armored, as well as those items, and they were trying to get into the uniforms.
Yeah, and this is the same time period as everything else that's going on, right? And we have, of course, HVAC worker reportedly finds explosives at Southside high rise. A CPD says that materials pose no threat. But get this, they also found a rifle and fake IDs. They said that the police took one person into custody. Police took one person into custody after suspicious materials were found at a Southside apartment on Monday morning. Melissa Caraway, a contractor scheduled to service units in the Lake Meadows unit 533 East, apparently, and 33rd, look at this, 533 East, 33rd place. Yeah. Apparently found the materials in question. The HVAC employee told ABC7 she found pretty clear red flags that needed to be reported to authority. I had a master key and I went in there and I came across a lot of things and I was like, that don't seem right, Caraway said. Caraway says residents get advance notice that their company, basically the management, landlord says, hey, we're coming. When no one answered the door, she said she let herself in. I came across some C4 explosives, a rifle, a lot of fake IDs, and a lot of fireman stuff, a lot of police force stuff, and it just looked like it was fake, you know? This put the hair up on the back of my neck. If you think about that, fake police stuff, fake fireman stuff. Say that you remember how Sarah Adams made a point to point this out, and that could mean something too, that she just happened to call something like this, that we don't know how these other people in other countries work, right? That say the one guy was surrendered, and when he went boom, the first responders went to respond. This is somewhere else other in the world. Another guy with a vest, he went boom, right? And she's basically pointing out that that's what they're like, that we're not prepared for that. We see somebody surrender, we're like, oh, let's go in, or you go and help, but they're going to go and fight until they are not here anymore. Now, I'm not saying I believe her whole thing. She is saying that there's going to be national attacks all over the country and multinationally. But I do believe that it is very possible. And I believe that this is par for the course. Look at what is happening. Look at the timing. And now we have all of these events all back to back. Dex, do you want to talk about T-Man's inauguration braces for the worst with troops, drones, and fences?
Yeah, so basically, it's turning into just an obvious defensive line in D.C. So during the quote-unquote peaceful transfer of power, in the news, they've revealed that 2 FBI field offices, a swarm of drones, and at least 30 miles of fencing will be used to keep the dawn and the inauguration guests, including world leaders and top U.S. lawmakers from across the country, safe from a series of potential threats. Now, it's interesting that they're going to be using drones while we're worrying about the other people using drones to potentially do bad things, whether it's there or in other places around the world. So additionally, National Guard members from all 50 states will operate checkpoints where the observers will enter the National Mall. And the federal government will enact a no-fly zone over D.C., but apparently DGI doesn't care about that anymore. It's just going to give you a warning, says, hey, you shouldn't be here, but you can do it if you want to.
And you'll get in trouble, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you might get in trouble, but you can still do it. And the bad guys don't care about getting in trouble because they're just going to. We've seen what they've been doing over and over again in the Middle East and in Ukraine with drones. And they've got tons of experience now with DGIs.
But whatever patsy takes off, he goes, oh, well, I'm going to go into witness protection, so I'm not worried about it. Or whatever the heck really happens. Again, everyone across the country, as of last Monday or whatever day this happened, can now fly their drone anywhere. And I have always hated those no-fly zones. I had a Mavic 2. I talked about how it got bricked when they started, the U.S. government banned the app, or Google banned the app. All of these places banned the app. So it was almost impossible to interact with the drone. I talked about how I had to go about that, and I had to create a whole thing. It was crazy. But now it can fly anywhere. I don't think I feel good about that either. And just watch. I mean, this looks like a scene out of that new flick, Civil Conflict, which everybody's called predictive programming, Civil War. So this looks straight out of a scene. They've got fences, they've got National Guard, they've got Humvees, everybody's getting prepared for this event. Something does not sit right with this, and if you agree, then share this out with your friends and family members. I believe that everyone should have at least a few days, and I mean that's the bare minimum of food and water just in case something crazy happens. I hope that nothing happens, and I hope the people that say, oh, it's going to be a nothing burger like everything else, I hope you are absolutely right. But if you feel like a responsible matriarch or patriarch of your family, then you might want to think otherwise just in case. So again, we will be talking about the rest of the world story. We're going to talk about China, more connections with all of this in just a minute over on our other show. But this was most important, so we wanted to make sure it was short and that you could get it out and share it to somebody that has 10 minutes to watch this. So thank you guys, and we appreciate you. We'll join you over on our other sister channel. You can find that in the show notes below. Stay in the chat. You'll be ported over in just a few minutes. And again, we are not live on XD Live Rumble right now. So again, make sure to get your links down below and go to our website and sign up for our notifications. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. Hopefully, everything will be peaceful.
Finding out the truth when it disappeared. My head was high in the clouds when it suddenly reappeared. I was on my way